Your Shampoo, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction, Chapter 3. Written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork provided by SeelysArt99 on Instagram. You can find a link to her Instagram account in the description box below. If you haven't heard the previous two parts of this story, you can find a link to them in the description box below. And if you haven't already, make sure you not only like this video and leave a comment, but also subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date on the latest parts of your favorite fanfictions. Now then, your Shampoo. Okay, today's the day. Adrien gave himself a pep talk in the bathroom mirror, 10 minutes before classes were scheduled to start. He got a new cologne over the weekend and made sure to wear it when he went over to chill with Marinette. She even asked if he changed his body wash during an Akuma fight, so she'd recognize this, right? Well, maybe, but nothing else worked so far. Adrien sucked in a breath and doused himself with a spray nozzle. He may as well have taken a bath in this stuff, because now the boys' bathroom smelled like teakwood and regret. At least he could brush it off as a prank on Nino gone wrong if he got sent to the principal's office or something. Oh my bees! What is that wretched smell? Ugh, ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Come out, whomever you are. My father will hear about this. Adrien felt sweat prickle under his arms as he walked in the classroom. Chloe had her hand over her face, eyes narrowed for the source of the smell. I don't think it's that bad. Someone must have just sprayed it or something, he said, making his way towards his seat without eye contact. Adrians, you must leave. I'll make sure whatever uncultured, dirty tomcat that's stinking up the room will be tossed out onto the street at once. Oh no. In the midst of dousing himself in cologne, he'd neglected to put on deodorant, and now he was sweating. When he had bad ideas, they naturally developed into something worse organically, didn't they? Today was the embodiment of a sigh, and it wasn't even 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Cat. Adrien whipped around to see Marinette covering her nose and looking like she needed to relieve her stomach of its contents. There's a cat? Alia asked, following her in before scrunching up her face. You need to get your nostrils checked, girl. This is a skunk. Where's Princess Fragrance when you need her? Chloe asked. Her comment was met by a glare from Rose before her face softened and she nodded in agreement. Well, he couldn't make it to the door without crossing the now squad of classmates, unified in their disgust of how he smelled. Yikes. There were no solutions to this that would end in his favor, huh? Oh, you know what? Marinette piped up. I think there's a broken bottle of cologne in the trash. Adrien, how about you take it out with me? He looked at her, eyes wide, but she didn't make eye contact. She knew. She knew he was Cat Noir. For how long? Had he made a fool of himself this whole time? No. Last night she said she didn't know who he was, and she wouldn't lie to him like that. He should be grateful she gave him an out instead of questioning her motives. My lady, he managed to choke out as they bulleted their way to the bathroom. She turned on her heels, a finger to her lips like a bug lecturing her cat. Not here, she said, shaking her head. He nodded, swallowing, and let himself into the washroom as she stood in the hall. Wow. It was that easy, huh? Why didn't she let him do this before? Well, he knew why they weren't supposed to know each other's identities, but that's dumb. A bag flew in after him with a white t-shirt in it. his gym bag. How did she get... Actually, this was Ladybug/Marinette. Never underestimate how resourceful she is. So, he said, knowing she was listening from the other side of the door. I suppose I do. Any thoughts? Not really. Not really? Was that a good or a bad thing? He washed up as quickly as he could before popping his head out the doorway. Am I not what you thought? Her face was already pink before he asked, her hand covering her mouth and nose. Adrien sniffed himself, wondering if he still smelled that bad before she responded. I can't believe I turned down Adrien Agreste's advances. Yeah, Chloe would kill you if she knew. Well, she'd also turn down Cat Noir, so that brings me some small comfort, I suppose. Why do you feel bad about turning me down all of a sudden? Are you having second thoughts? He said it in a teasing manner, but he meant every word. I just can't believe I turned down not just one, but 2 of the top 10 teen idols. Adrien laughed and gave her a gentle nudge. Should have trusted your instincts. Or my nose, she shot back, her lips turned upward. It was clear she didn't know what to say next, so he took the lead. Will you date me now? Huh? He took her hand in his and stepped forward so he could face her instead of stand beside her. Was he nervous? Oh, more than Plague was when he didn't know if the cheese was gone, but he had to know. Do you want to date me now? When she didn't respond, he pressed further, bringing her fingertips to his lips. Will you go on a date with me, my lady? A soft whimper escaped her, and he couldn't understand why she looked so scared. But all the anime he'd ever watched led him to this moment. Adrien leaned in close, his nose nearly brushing hers, and closed his eyes. It felt like an eternity, but a few seconds at most passed before Marinette pressed her lips on his, her hand sliding into the locks of hair curling on his neck at the collar. Oh, Camembert. She was kissing him. Adrien bolted back in surprise. Anime taught him what to do, but not what it would feel like. He wanted to run away, face flushed, and live with the consequences of his actions, but the betrayal on Marinette's face kept him grounded. Instead, he cupped her chin and leaned in, kissing her for the second time. And, oh, Camembert, it was magical. So magical that for a moment he couldn't smell the cologne plaguing him as his skin itched. Oh, not at all. For that moment, that instant, all he could smell was her shampoo as her lips tasted his. When they broke apart the second time, they were breathless and wide-eyed, a moment of panic before their faces split into matching grins. Yeah. They'd be all right. What's the brand of your shampoo again? I can't recall off the top of my head. Why? He grinned as he took her hand to lead her back to class. Never mind. I'll find out later. Weirdo? Marinette squeezed his hand tighter. The words rattled in his brain, but Adrien knew better than to say it out loud. He found what he wanted after all, and the words echoed his desires. Marinette, Marinette, he thought. I want my days to feel like the smell of your shampoo. Thank you so much for listening. That was the third part of Your Shampoo. If you'd like more Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, you can find it by checking out other videos on this channel or the videos right here. I'll catch you in the next one. And if you've listened this far, comment the smell of your shampoo, just so I know you made it to the end. Anyway, I'll catch you next time.